All right, so as y'all can see, we got a lot done. The motor is completely put back together. We started putting the core support on. All I gotta do is throw oil in here, throw a battery in it. I'm about to throw the radiator and stuff in there just so I know what hoses I need, because I do need to get a couple hoses for it because some of them are ripped or cut, because like I know the lower one is cut, the lower radiator hose was cut because from the core support being pushed back, I couldn't reach down there and get the clamp off to get the hose completely off. So I know I have to get a new lower one. I have an upper one right there, so I'm good on the upper radiator hose. And then I think I need the trans line that goes from the radiator to the trans cooler. I'm pretty sure I need that as well, so I just want to double check, make sure what I need, and let's get it cracking from there. So we should be able to start this thing up today in this video, so get prepared for that. So we tried to start it yesterday, went through a little mishaps. It wasn't getting any spark. I just replaced the crankshaft position sensor, so now we're about to see if we can get this damn thing started finally. So about to throw the intake back on there real quick, then set you guys up and try to start it. Well, wasn't the crankshaft position sensor. So since you guys last seen the Tahoe, I had finished putting it back together, and we had went for the first startup, and then I was having issues, so I'm gonna just let you guys know right now. Basically, I thought it was the crank position sensor. I thought it was that when I first went to go try to crank it to make sure everything was running right. It wouldn't start at all, it just cranked. So I replaced that crank position sensor, it wasn't that. And then I ended up having a homie come over. He ended up plugging in his computer, and also when he plugged in his computer to the OBD2 port, it wasn't picking up, like it wasn't giving any power to that. So if you guys ever run into anything like that to where your OBD isn't getting power, come to your fuse block box over here and look for the TBC fuse. 9 times out of 10, that's going to stop your OBD2 port from getting power. It's your truck body control fuse. You replace that and you'll have that. So then we ended up plugging the computer in, and it was saying lost signal to the cam position sensor. So once we took the intake and stuff off, we had realized that this wire was, it was like the other connection that was on here, right here, it was all like touching and everything, and the wires are stripped. So we went ahead and I have another harness sitting around, so I just found another, let me see. I just found another terminal and just wire crimped them on. So yeah, cam position sensor's good now. So we went for our first startup. I have a few videos of me starting it up for the first time and everything. I'll upload them into this video, probably right here. But basically, we went to go start it. I drove it around. It was driving beautifully. And I was noticing that there was still a leak coming from the back. So I got up under there, realized that it was the rear main seal. So I yanked the motor back out again, hence why the whole front clips, or the front end's not on, but the fenders are. It's because I put everything back together. I had this thing running and driving. I drove it about 2 times, and then that's when I noticed that the oil was leaking from the rear main. So we took that off, took the oil pan off, and I actually did what everybody told me not to, but I'm certain that this is gonna work. So I put gasket maker on it, or silicone, I guess. My neighbor, he worked for the fire department, and he had some silicone that they use for transmission cases and stuff. And he said as soon as it doesn't see air, it gets hard. Pause. So yeah, we did that to the trans. or the oil pan and the rear main seal, I went ahead and put some of that little silicone, that stuff that's on there. He said everybody's transferring over to it instead of using gasket makers, so I put it on mine. Let's see how it does. And then on top of that, for the past 3 days, I've been trying to fight to get this motor and trans connected. I finally got it connected yesterday, and I was just like, you know, screw it. I left it alone. I left it at that. I got the motor mounts in. I got the trans all hooked up. So I was like, I'm done. So today, I want to button everything back up. So right now, we're going to go get a new exhaust manifold gasket because, let me see if I can find my old one. Can't find it. Maybe I threw it away already. But basically, the exhaust manifold on the passenger side was all screwed up. So I'm going to go buy a new one of those. And I'm also going to stop at Walmart and get some Royal Purple for this, for the oil. And yeah, we should be able to just come home. All I got to do up under there is tighten one more trans bolt, put the starter in, connect the exhaust, and then it's on to moving on to the top end and putting the whole top end together and everything. So I'll get at you guys once we get back from AutoZone and Walmart. Now, I told you guys, I'm horrible at recording. So where we left off was basically the rear main seal was still leaking. We ended up getting that fixed, but I had another leak. I know, a lot of problems, but what happened was basically my dad was out here talking to me. I'm blaming this on him. Yes, I am. He was out here talking to me. I kind of got pissed. I was trying to get the motor in. This was during the time that I was fighting getting the motor and trans put in, and I broke the oil pressure sensor. So when I broke it off, I'm like, screw the oil pressure sensor. I don't care to run one. I know my oil pressure's good. So I was just like, screw it. Didn't do the oil pressure, threw the motor in, and where it snapped was right where the oil pressure sensor and the matter of fact, I have it right here. So it snapped. This is the rest of it. So it like snapped like you know, right where the oil pressure or the oil goes through. So that's what was spilling out. I had big puddles of oil, and it was worse than before. So I was like, there's no way this rear main seal is leaking worse than, you know, the first 2 times. It was leaking worse than, you know, the original. So I went ahead and I got on a couple pages that I'm on like Facebook and stuff and asked around. And that's when finally somebody said something about the oil pressure sensor and it clicked. So I went to go check. I put my camera in the back. I'll upload that video, matter of fact, to make this video a little bit longer. So I uploaded that video of the oil pressure sensor and all the oil that was around it. So we ended up taking the intake back off again, replaced that, and we didn't have any issues after that. So the next video I do put out, it will be this thing running. I took it out yesterday, actually. We got some rollers of it and everything. So yeah, tune into the TikToks and stuff like that. I'll probably upload a roller on here too on the next video. But yeah, we did get her running. She's no longer in the garage. She's actually sitting outside enjoying the sun. So yeah, I'm actually about to go drive her right now too. I'm gonna go to my brother's house. But yeah, she's been driving good. So yeah, we're about to just keep recording and see where this build goes. We're going to also start recording my homie's car. He has a Grand Prix, a GTP, so the supercharged one. And his dad has a Regal that's supercharged, and they're pretty badass. So tune into the video. I'll probably make a video on their cars next time I link up with them. And let you guys see what those are. They're some pretty dope-ass cars, honestly. But yeah, just tune in, and let's see where we take off to.
And I've been stacking, putting a waving on my slow grind. Ain't no competition with these niggas, they get clothesline. I'ma do my pace, it ain't no race, this ain't no finish line.